Absolutely massive news, my friends. Xbox, Microsoft have won their court case against the FTC. I'm going to go through all the details about what just transpired, what just came out in the news just earlier today. We're also going to talk about what does that mean? Does that mean Xbox, Microsoft has now purchased Activision, or what does that mean? What's the next step? I'll go through that as well for you guys, so you guys can understand the whole kind of gist of it. If you do enjoy this video and appreciate it, be sure to like, subscribe for more. Do a variety of gaming content here on the channel. Talk about the games, play the games, kind of the best of both worlds. You can check out all the social links and other channels down in the description below. Kick, Twitter, Nintendo channel, all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and jump straight into this and not waste any time whatsoever. I'm going to throw it up right on screen right now. In a ruling submitted today by Judge Corley, if I'm pronouncing her last name right, this is what the judge had to say. Microsoft's acquisition of Activision has been described as the largest in tech history. It deserves scrutiny. That scrutiny is paid off. Microsoft is committed in writing, in public, and in court to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation for 10 years on parity with Xbox. Now, it made an agreement with Nintendo to bring Call of Duty to Switch, and it entered several agreements for the first time, for the first time bring Activision's content to several cloud gaming services. They said that this court's responsibility in this case is narrow. It is to decide if, notwithstanding these current circumstances, the merger should be halted, perhaps even terminated, pending resolution of the FTC administrative action. For the reasons explained, the court finds the FTC has not shown a likelihood it will prevail on its claim. This particular vertical merger in this specific industry may substantially lessen competition. To the contrary, the record evidence points to more consumer access to Call of Duty and other Activision content. The motion for preliminary injunction is therefore denied. The FTC got denied by the judge here. So that's it. So it's not completely. There's a couple things to note here. We got word from Xbox and from Phil Spencer. We also have word from a couple other sources as well, and also word on what's to come next, because there is a couple more hurdles left that I want to talk about as well. The first things first is that what this means is that the FTC could appeal. They have till Friday to appeal, but they probably won't. Most of the time with this sort of situation, they just kind of back out and they're like, all right, whatever. We throw our hands up. They're probably not going to appeal. There's a chance, but it's very unlikely from what I can understand. Moving on from that section, we have a couple statements, like I said, from Xbox. So first off, from Brad Smith, who's the vice chair and president at Microsoft. I'll throw it up on screen right now. He has a statement with the CMA for a pause of their appeal in the UK. And then Phil Spencer also has something to say. So actually, let's start with Phil Spencer. Throw it up on screen. It's pretty lengthy, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. Again, if you want to read it in its entirety, but basically, he's just kind of going over the whole thing with, the whole FTC, the Federal Trade Commission's request for preliminary injunction, and that they were denied. And it says the evidence showed the deal is good for the industry and this and that, right? Then he says, after today's decision, we are now turning our focus to the UK, because if you're not aware, a few months ago, the UK Competition and Markets Authority recommended that the deal be prohibited. So there's another hurdle here. We disagree with the CMA's concern and have challenged its decision on appeal. At the same time, however, we are considering how the transaction might be modified to address the CMA's concerns. In a way that is acceptable to the CMA in order to prioritize work on potential options. Microsoft and Activision have agreed with the CMA that pausing the appeal now would be in the public interest, and both we and the CMA have made a joint submission to the Competition Appeal Tribunal to this effect. From the beginning, the gaming leadership team and I, this is Phil Spencer talking, have believed that this acquisition will be meaningfully beneficial to the players and the gaming industry. So, again, he's just kind of reiterating, what he has multiple times in the past, talking about, this includes numerous signed agreements to make Activision Blizzard games, Xbox first-party games and Game Pass all available to more players. than they are today. He's proud of the efforts to expand player access and choice throughout the process, and this and that. And he just thanks everybody who's devoted their time, dedication, and support of this acquisition. So again, that's kind of just a summary of what Phil Spencer said. Then Brad Smith, as I mentioned a second ago, what he said, I'll throw it right up on screen right now. He says, after today's court decision in the U.S., again, reiterating kind of what Phil Spencer said, their focus is going to be turning back to the UK. They say we ultimately disagree with the CMA's concerns, but they are considering how the transaction may be modified. So again, very similar to what Phil Spencer was saying in his memo and whatnot. And again, they're just, trying to figure out a way to make it acceptable to the CMA, and that in order to prioritize work on these proposals, Microsoft and Activision have agreed with the CMA that a stay of litigation in the UK would be in the public interest. So again, they're just kind of reiterating that to that effect as well. So that's what's going on there. Now there's a couple different things to note. What does that mean? With the CMA and whatnot? Well, with the focus on the CMA, of course, Microsoft and Activision having agreed to pause the appeal in the UK and try to work out some of the changes to its deal that will appease UK, regulators. Tom Warren over on Twitter says that he'd expect the CAT, or CAT, I guess for short, agrees, and that we'll see a cloud gaming remedy in the UK here, allowing the CMA to get a result like the EU did, and for Microsoft to finalize and close the deal. And what Tom Warren said at the end of his tweet here is that it's all going to move pretty quickly now as the deal deadline of July 18th approaches. So, I mean, again, we're about a week away from the deal deadline. So I'm not exactly 100% sure what's going to happen. Now, some people are like, well, what if they go, what if they can't meet the deadline? There are ways to extend it by mutual consent. Apparently this is from section 8.4 of the merger agreement, someone else said. So that is possible. So I don't think we're going to see it necessarily solidified by July 18th. Again, we're going to have to see how this kind of plays out with the CMA at this point. So the FTC, that's dealt with. I think the whole situation with the CMA will get a resolution. I think that the FTC was probably the biggest hurdle. And now that that's, been denied and dealt with, I think it's pretty much inevitable at this point. It's pretty much inevitable. I don't see a situation personally, from what I can tell, that this won't go through at the end of the day. The question is when, not if. I think before the FTC situation was more of an if question. It was like, will this go through? I think now it's more like, okay, when is this going to go through? Because I'm pretty sure that, the CMA situation is nothing like the FTC situation. It's not as drastic or severe, serious, whatever. And again, I think they're going to be able to find a resolution to that quite easily and quickly. So again, it's more of a question when. We're going to probably hear obviously more within the week, because either something is resolved within the next week before the deal deadline of July 18th, or we hear that it gets extended. So either or, we're gonna hear something, and I'll do my best to bring you guys the latest news on this whenever we get word of it. I'll let you guys know here on the channel. But I think it's safe to say that it's pretty much gonna happen. Like I said, it's inevitable. A lot of people are acting like it's already happened. It hasn't. It hasn't happened until it's all official, until everything with the CMA has been dealt with, and until everything is actually closed. It's not official, but we're very, very close, guys. It is very close, and I do think I've said it from the start. I think this is going to be a good thing for the industry. I think Phil Spencer's head and Microsoft acquiring Activision. Yes, I understand this is a big acquisition that Microsoft could turn around and try to use, for in bad ways, but they're signing these deals. They're dedicated to bringing these games to as many people as possible. And the fact that they're going to own Activision, think about this. I mean, they're going to be making money off of these games no matter where these games are sold at the end of the day. So, you know what I mean? I don't think they're gonna remove these games, and I think that also gives us hope for other games, because Phil Spencer, I think he's gonna bring certain games back, right? Like he's gonna make sure that more Crash games are made, more Spyro games are made, bring back maybe Guitar Hero. Maybe I'm just kind of hoping, but still, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, right? I think he's seen Pro Skater 1+2. I mean, he knows, man, there's a market for these games that are, you know, not necessarily the multi-million or billion-dollar, you know, huge games like Call of Duty. You know, can't forget about those other games. So I have hope in that as well. So let me know your thoughts and comments below. I hope that catches you up. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll do my best to answer them. But I think that hopefully clarifies as much as we really have clarification for. So let me know what you think about this whole situation, and if you're excited for Xbox to acquire Activision, or if you're not for it. And if you're not for it, let me know why. I would be curious. For everything else, stay tuned for more. Again, all the links down in the description below if you want to check out the other stuff, and I'll see you guys soon in another one. Tell them friends. Game on. Thanks for watching. Hey you! What are you doing? Join the Skeleton Army! Do it today! Don't wait till tomorrow, because tomorrow might never come. The Earth is gonna fade, that's inevitable. The next second of your life's not even promised, so you better think about where you're going, and you might as well just join the Skeleton Army. Plus, we do kind of like you a little bit, so it'd be nice to see you around here. But if you don't want to, hey, your loss. See you later.